from a season ago. And the thing that jumps out about this Harvard team, Amanda, their offense, it is prolific.
It's great. Last season really had the opportunity to score quite a few points. The issue for UMass was they're giving up far too many last season. So UMass has to lock down on that defense, and Harvard, on the other hand, has to make sure that they get into the flow of their offense early and often.
What an atmosphere here in Cambridge. Starting lineups being introduced as we speak. Sky high expectations for this program. Third year under Harry Moore at the helm of this program is what they can do. It was an opener of collegiate landscape. UMass certainly didn't win season last year for the Minnesota, but Mike Leffler, head coach of this program, very confident going into year 2.
He is, and he should be. They've made a lot of changes hanging into this game. For UMass, they need to know where Harmony Turner is on the floor. We talked about that a little bit earlier. She is the scoring drive for this Harvard offense, so UMass needs to communicate, and that goes into the next key to the game is their communication, because this is a team with a lot of new pieces. They need to talk to each other as they're still working on really growing together as a team. And then looking over at Harvard, really their keys to the win has to be on the defensive end. We haven't seen a lot from them this year, so for them to come out and play really hard defense, everything else will fall into place. And then for their offense, they need to execute. This is their first game of the year. They didn't have any preseason scrimmages, so they need to come out and execute the things that they've been working on in practice for the last few months.
The Harvard team that last year was 16-12 overall. They finished 9-5 in Ivy League play. UMass 5-27 a year ago. Amanda alluded to new faces in Amherst. A lot of returners in Cambridge. You've got 10 familiar faces for Carrie Moore and 5 first-year players. It's an incoming class that he is extremely high on. And right out of the chute, a delay of game and free throws for Ali Palmieri. Looks like we had some technical difficulties on the backboard lights. And that is why UMass is on the board first.
That's a frustrating way to start your season, just to have a technical difficulty, which totally out of your control, and to automatically be down 2 points.
Getting all the kinks out, right? The cobwebs, shaking off the rust. It's
even
for
facilities. Even facilities.
UMass wins the tip. This is McHale, who heaves up a 3 and connects. One of the many new faces. Yamani McHale, first-year guard out of Queens, hitting the triple.
Great trap.
Kaleja comes away with it and lays it in. What a start for the Minute Women here at Lavini's Pavilion.
Wow, I love this quarter-court trap right here. Really trying to slow down Harvard's offense. Finally breaking it.
Good, Amanda, that is something that Mike Leffler, head coach of this UMass team, in our chat with him the other day, references that we want to get out into the full court and extend some pressure. Army Turner's first shot is off the mark. McHale the other way. Slicing and dicing into the paint, but active hands from Lydia Chatira. Jump ball is the call, with possession arrow favoring the Crimson. Harmony Turner, Elena Rodriguez, Sanaya Glenbello, Lydia Chatira, Gabby Anderson, the starting 5 for Harvard in their opener tonight. Mikhail Obris, Odenabo, Palmieri, and Kaleja, starting 5 for UMass. Rodriguez in the paint. Rodriguez through traffic, banks it home.
Great strong move. She was composed. Finally, something for Harvard. Felt like UMass came out firing.
Stopped an early 7-0 blitz for UMass. Off Kaleja's foot, out of bounds. Harvard gets it back. Here's Lydia Chatira. First-year guard out of Greece. She will play a big role on this team this year. A ton of international experience. She's not the only one with international experience on this roster. Of course, Elena Rodriguez. Bevy of experience in Spain. Turner inside the three-point arc. And coming away with the steal is Megan Obrys. But active hands from Sonia Glenn-Bello forcing a turnover. Both teams finding their footing in the early going. Nice find down low to Gabby Anderson.
That's how Harvard's going to play all season long. Two-woman game. Great stuff.
Something Carrie Moore talked about with us a few days ago. I think they've worked on in practice in the preseason. Active hands from Katira. Leading the push. There's Glenn-Bello. Everything but the bucket that time. Fight for the rebound underneath the hoop. Gabby Anderson getting tied up with Chineye Odenigbo. But the possession arrow favors Umass. A little more than 2.5 minutes to this opening quarter. On opening nights across college basketball. Palmieri, senior who redshirted last year after a season at Seton Hall and 2 years at BC. Defended by Glenn-Bello. Peleja. McHale, that is going to be an offensive foul. Looks like it's going to go on Odenigbo. The illegal screen. Again, Amanda, we see UMass extend some pressure into the backcourt.
I love that. And not because they want to take the ball away, but they want Harvard to start out of their set.
Glenn-Bello through the tree. Strong rebound for Odenigbo. Ends up getting tied up with Glenn-Bello. Those two exchanging not necessarily words, but maybe a glance or two.
Just a little bit of, listen, this isn't just going to go nowhere for us today. I'm going to fight for this ball. I love it.
There's Carrie Moore in her third season here in Cambridge. Her 36 wins in her first 2 years at the helm, the most in program history through any coach's first 2 seasons. Very impressive what she has been able to do so far here at Harvard. Turner knocks down the three.
You knew the moment that was coming out of her hand that was going in. Don't let Harmony Turner heat up.
Palmieri, jump ball is the call. Great hands by Gabby Anderson. So after UMass got off to a very early 7-0 start, Harvard has come back to tie the game. 3.5 minutes into this quarter. Palmieri at the free throw line, deflected by Turner. Then Bello leading the break. Umass does a good job getting back. Katira bounces it into Anderson. Here's Rodriguez from the wing. She connects. Second three-point field goal for Harvard. They have their first lead. Turner trying to pick the pocket of McHale. Turner comes away with it. Harmony Turner denied by Obrys.
You have to love the hustle out of Harmony Turner. She decided that she was not going to let UMass get into their set, not even get into their set, but barely cross half court. And then she dives on the floor, gets the ball the other end, goes up with it, doesn't quite finish, but Harvard with a chance with an out-of-bounds opportunity here, and that was all hustle. Love a hustle play.
Rodriguez off the inbounds pass lays it in. How about the defense in that sequence for both teams? Turner and then Obrys. McHale on the drive, and McHale gets fouled. going to go on Harmony Turner.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of fouls in this game. First game of the year, officials tend to be pretty tight with the calls, setting the tone for the rest of the season. But really, one foul each team, not too bad so far.
Especially with points of emphasis, things they want to establish early on. That is such a great point. Comes to the officiating. Meanwhile, this is a Harvard team that is on a 12-0 run against Mike Leffler's team. Again, the record not where he wanted it to be or the program wanted it to be last year, but talking with him the other day, he says this program is night and day from where they were last year.
And he was so excited talking about this team, and you can tell he's feeling really good, really optimistic about this season.
Especially if you're going to get offense from someone like Aaliyah Sorrentino, just like that. Turner trying to get around Sorrentino. Rebounded by Obrys. Past the halfway point of quarter number 1 here at Labedius Pavilion. Yamani McHale. Top to Palmieri.
Now watch this play.
Sorrentino at the elbow. Shot clock winding down for UMass on the cut. Palmieri went off the rim. In transition, Turner thought about a pull-up, a bit indecisive there. It leads to a turnover. And also our first timeout. We'll take it to 4:20 left in the opening quarter of opening.
15th, so no rest for the weary. She had to get back for preseason practices. She did. Back in the lineup, but guys, it took her until about 2 weeks ago to get that sleep schedule back in check.
No rest for the weary. And how about Harmony Turner racking up the frequent flyer miles this summer? Great stuff, Jess. Thanks so much. And Harmony getting a rare rest out of the timeout. Tonight, Glenn Bello pulls up and doesn't get the bounce. And it's rebounded by Obrys.
She hasn't quite gotten the bounce yet today, but when that shot starts falling, she's had some really great opportunities.
Katie Krupa comes down with the miss. Carly White in her first action of the night as well. Helena Rocco, first-year guard out of Pittsburgh. Can't hit. Rebound is tipped and controlled by Obrys. Umass in transition. Obrys bounces it. And getting a piece was Krupa. And she hits the deck on the end line. The ball goes out of bounds.
Very frustrated. It looked like from here she got hit on the arm, but the official right in front of her says no.
Abigail Wright checking in. Sophomore from Newton, Mass. Pelagia. Sorrentino loops it into Obrys, but throws it away.
Right idea. So far, UMass has been starting their plays, and they've been doing a great job starting, but then they don't continue the play, the sets that they have set up. So they haven't quite gotten the looks that they're looking for. But once they start finishing that play, really getting Harvard outside of their comfort zone on defense, UMass is going to have some really good opportunities to score.
UMass turning it over for the 7th time. Both teams are off to rough starts shooting it. UMass shooting 33%. Harvard at 36%. Sanaya Glenn-Bello turns it over. 2.5 to play here in the first. And a travel is the call. Turnover number 8 for the Minute Women.
First quarter of the game, there's going to be a lot of turnovers and a lot of missed shots. But every coach during that quarter break is going to say, okay, you're done with the jitters. It's time to focus. It's basketball season now. That first quarter of the season is always rough. And so far, these teams, although throwing the ball away a little bit, missing a lot of shots, they've still played pretty clean.
El Stafford checks in for the first time. So how about Harvard here in this first quarter? Gone 10 deep already. Stephanie Kaleja picks off the pass. Kaleja with a Euro step and puts it home.
That was beautiful. Great way on one to go up with it, not have any contact, and just play through.
Second field goal for Kaleja. 1 point game is taken under 2 minutes to play. Stoffer up top. Kicks it to White. Cross court. Rocco. No. Tipped out towards Momo LeClaire. Rebound number 8 for UMass. Palmieri. Can't hit the J. There's Ferguson fighting on the offensive glass. Counted in one. Lily Ferguson trying to bump. And has a chance for 3 the old-fashioned way.
With 2 players on her, that was just pure toughness and grit to get that ball up and to see it through the contacts. Amazing.
Denebo back in for Sorrentino. Here comes Harmony Turner back into the game for Elena Rocco. Lily Ferguson, one of the returners for this UMass team, the junior from Newington, Connecticut. She does so much that doesn't show up in the box score. She is so tenacious on the glass, as she just demonstrated. This is the free throw and a foul going on Abigail Cole. I should say that's on Stephanie Kaleja.
Got caught up on that rebound.
Stoffer at the elbow. Rebound to Palmieri.
That was a good shot, better shot situation. Yeah, it was a good shot. No one was on her, but they could have gotten a better opportunity.
Turner comes away with the steal. It's out of bounds. UMass gets it back.
Harmony Turner just all over the map on defense, just getting her hand into every play.
Turner has 2 steals. She averaged a hair more than 2 last season to lead the Ivy League. Palmieri looking to put the moves on Carly White into a double team. Going down is Katie Krupa. She gives up the body and draws the charge.
That was fantastic defense by Harvard. They all collapsed in when the drive to the middle came through. Let's take another look at this one. Here comes the middle drive. First, there's a hedge off to get the hand in, and then both Wright and Krupa step in and take the contact. Great defense.
UMass has now turned it over 10 times here in this first quarter. Last year, they averaged about 17 turnovers a game, but only a 1-point game. UMass in front. But a turnover drawn by UMass. Denebo. LeClaire kicks it into the front court. Kaleja. Ferguson on the low block. Denebo with the floater. Shot clock is off. And Harvard will look for the final shot. Turner defended by McHale. Turner. Krupa heaves. Can hit. Kaleja rips it down. And that is how quarter number 1 comes to a close here at Lavini's Pavilion. Both teams a bit rusty, shaking out some of the cobwebs to start here on opening night. But after the first 10 minutes in Cambridge, UMass in front by 3. Back with second quarter action, 78-57. These two teams actually met in the second round of the WNIT a couple of years ago. What a fantastic game that was in the Mullins Center that went down to the wire. What a great matchups between these two programs. Let's check in with Jess Todd.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. During that last timeout, the Minute Women were dialed in to everything that Coach Leffler was throwing at them. But his big thing coming out, if we have transition opportunities, use the numbers and go. And their sets right now, he thinks they're getting a little bit too slow, really wants them to push the tempo. But let me tell you, everything that he was saying, they were fired up about. They're ready to go here in the second quarter.
All right, Jess, thanks so much. UMass enters the second quarter with a 3-point advantage. Jim Kane, Amanda Keene, just on with you on opening night at Levites Pavilion. It's game 2 of our doubleheader here at Cambridge.
I definitely agree with what Coach was saying in that halftime. They've had 8 points off the fast break of their 15, so they definitely can push the pace and be successful.
McHale went all the way to the bucket but came up shy. It's McHale, Adenabo, Ferguson, LeClaire, and Collegia, the 5 on the floor for Mike Leffler's team. And carrying more counters with Katira, Turner, Rodriguez, Glenn Bello, and Anderson. Rodriguez picked up by Ferguson. What a cut by Turner. She kisses it home. Score it and the foul. Harmony Turner with her second bucket.
That is what happens when you have returning players with great chemistry. All of that communication was non-verbal, just the head nod and the bounce down. Great pass, great finish, great communication, and she deserves that and one for sure.
Elena Rodriguez picking up the dime. How about this, Amanda? Harvard has 5 assists on 6 field goals so far.
Wow, it's great teamwork right there.
Palmieri being hounded by Harmony Turner. McHale and Bello with some aggressive defense up near the timeline. Minute and a half gone by here in the second. Dale down the right lane. McHale found some daylight. Off with the shot. Rodriguez has the miss. Turner pushing. Rodriguez directing traffic. Ran into LeClaire. And LeClaire will pick up her second foul. Mike Leffler trying to find a way to slow down this dynamic offense of Elena Rodriguez, Harmony Turner, and company. It's an offense last year that ranked 3rd in the Ivy League in points, field goal percentage, 3-point shooting. Her second in free throw shooting. Gabby Anderson banks home the hook shot. Harmony Turner with the steal and throws it off McHale out of bounds.
Here's Harvard after that first quarter shaking off the rust as we talked about. Their offense has been great communication. Take a look at this defense. Harmony Turner just gets her hands on it and then has the body composure and the wherewithal to send it off the UMass player out of bounds. That's really hard to do, and love the hustle from her, always.
3 steals already. Nearly added 3 more points. Olbrees has the rebound. Palmieri. Anderson with some tough defense. Something that Terry Moore lauded her for, just the grittiness and the tenacity with which Gabby Anderson plays on the defensive end. Great defense on this trip down the floor for the Crimson. Into the corner, Glenn Bello left it short. Denebo with the rebound. Hale gets bumped by Harmony Turner. Turner picks up her first foul. So Harvard is shooting 32%. UMass not much better. 35% from the floor. Yeah, a lot of contact there. Backpedaling towards the timeline. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Yeah, McHale gets fouled. It's going to go on Rodriguez.
UMass working really hard right now to get open. There's battle going down in the post. Even on that really high ball screen, couldn't even quite use it because of how tough Harvard's defense is playing right now.
Denebo trying to go down low toward Olbrees, but it was batted out of bounds. Seeing a lot of deflections here early. Harvard with 7 steals, and UMass has 5. Palmieri along with it. Turner in the front court. Crossover. Behind the back, into the corner. Anderson short. Len Bello on the offensive glass through 3 defenders. A wild shot. Here comes UMass. Palmieri, Adenabo, taken away by Anderson. Turner down the left side, off balance. Shot, can't get the bounce. And a foul down low as Gabby Anderson corralled the offensive board.
Whew, I feel like I need to take a deep breath after that one. I think I was holding my breath for the last 30 seconds. Lots of fast breaking, lots of chaos and takeaways. Really love the way UMass is running the floor, but the way they're running their lanes, they're getting in each other's way. They have to work on spreading the floor. And then on the other end, Harvard is just so well aware of where each other is. It also means they're kind of getting in each other's way as well because they're all crashing the boards and doing a great job. But here they are at the line.
And it's interesting, too. What you're talking about are characteristics you would think of a team that hasn't played a lot together. But again, this is a team that returns 80% of its scoring, 10 returners, 5 first-year players. So a lot of continuity here. But as we mentioned, it's opening night. And to dust off the cobwebs, work out some of the kinks.
When you've only been playing against other people who know what your plays are, sometimes that preseason can get very long, and you're just desperate to get to that first game.
Pointed out the fact that there were no exhibition games for this Harvard team. UMass did play Assumption last week, so they had a chance to face a different opponent. Like Leffler talked about, what a great experience that was to be able to get some tape and some film to sit down and look at and correct some things. Anderson drills the 3 from the corner. Timeout, UMass.
Finally getting this crowd hyped up, getting into this game. Love to see it.
Third 3-point field goal of this opening half. And the lead is 6 for the Crimson here on opening night. Familiar faces in year 3 for Carrie Moore's team. 10 returners, 5 first-year players. Really, when you look at what this team lost last year, only 1 active senior, and that was Lola Mullaney, who, of course, was absolutely terrific and one of the best shooters in Harvard's program history. So, big hole there to try to replace her, but this team is up to the task. Elena Rodriguez tried to track down her deflection. It goes out of bounds. Mass keeps it.
It was a big loss to lose Lola Mullaney, but if you're going to lose someone, a 3-point shooter, in my opinion, from the coaching side, is okay because they can be streaky. You can't really rely on 3-point shooters to really just hit it home all the time. So she was a big loss culturally and, of course, points-wise, but the group they have back is a great group to keep.
Elena Rodriguez, big part of that, forcing yet another UMass turnover. UMass, by the way, 0 for 8 from the floor here in the second quarter as Giovanni McHale gets called for the foul. It's the 4th team foul against the Minutewomen. Dallas Pierce is up off the bench. She will see her first action of the season.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, you don't want it to be 50 some odd feet away from the basket. That's a tough one. Give her a second and get a drink of water and collect your thoughts before coming back out.
Approaching the final 5 minutes of the opening half. Wide open down low is Rodriguez. Harmony Turner with great court vision. Dallas Pierce to the floor goes Olbrys. And it goes off Katie Krupa's leg out of bounds. Mike Leffler's team trying to generate some offense here in the second quarter. Not only have they been held without a field goal, they haven't scored a point here in the second. Harvard outscoring UMass 11-zip here in the second. Palmieri drives, draws contacts. As Sanaya Glenn Bello got up in the air. And she picks up her first foul.
Typically, when you have that opportunity to have a baseline out of bounds play, that's your chance to get a quick hitter play in, get something in, create a quick shot, and then move on. But anytime they've had those out of bounds play opportunities, the plays kind of break down. They pull them out. They try and run them all the way through, and it's just not getting the results that they're hoping for. A lot of that is because Harvard's playing great defense. But for UMass, they really got to make sure they take advantage of those opportunities.
Palmieri cans the free throws, so the first points of the second quarter for UMass come at the 4:30 mark. That's out of bounds. UMass is going to get this back. And the thing is, despite the woes offensively, it's only a two-possession game.
It doesn't feel as close as it is, but it's certainly a close game. UMass making sure that despite some of their mistakes, turnovers, they're still hanging around in this game.
Kaleja traveled. Turnover number 14 committed by UMass. Turner. The screen from Rodriguez. Here's Krupa. Rebounded by Rodriguez. New possession for Harvard. Turner. A wild shot that got deflected out of bounds.
Not a lucky break with that one, getting it deflected out of bounds, or else that wasn't exactly how they wanted to end that possession. So now they'll have 14 seconds to get something going.
Dallas Pierce out. Yamani McHale in. Mismatch between Rodriguez and McHale. Krupa for three. McHale fumbles it. That's center court. Jump ball is the call. Possession arrow points UMass's way. And you're starting to see more and more pressure from this Harvard defense, trying to force even more turnovers. The lead is 9 for the Crimson. Sorrentino on the baseline, knocks it down.
I really liked her shot selection so far today. Sorrentino's just been in the right place and gotten some really great shot opportunities so far today.
She's 2 for 3 from the floor. Nifty dribbling from Glenn Bella. Sorrentino goes to the floor. Thought there was going to be a jump ball called there for a second. Now we get one in the second tie-up. It'll be Harvard ball.
I don't know what they were waiting for the first time around. Definitely seemed like it, but gotta love the bodies on the ground. There's been a ton of hustle from both of these teams today, and that's what just makes this game so fun to watch.
No question about that. Rodriguez spins. Rodriguez found some daylight and kissed it home. Elena Rodriguez into double digits. She's got 11. It's 5 of 6 from the floor. Cross court. And tipped off the fingers of Stephanie Kaleja out of bounds. You've seen this Harvard defense here as the second quarter has progressed, Amanda. Really ratchet up the intensity.
Their defense has been fantastic. They rotate the right way. They communicate. They bump each other off once they've recovered from the positions that they need to be back in. Really great defense.
Rocco can't get the floater to fall. What a turnaround this has been in the second quarter, keyed by the defense. Again, UMass led this game after one. Harvard outscoring UMass 16-4 here in the second as we come up on the 2-minute mark. McHale rebounded by Anderson. Krupa, too strong that time. Gabby Anderson tips it to herself. A cutting. Krupa kisses it home. And Mike Leffler has seen enough. It's a double-digit advantage for the Harvard Crimson. What a turnaround this has been as they lead by 11. This is a Harvard team. Its run has been a little bit of everything. Defense, seeing a lot of different people contribute here. Elena Rodriguez, a big part of it, but Katie Krupa with some nifty moves here for two.
The hustle play to gather underneath and for Krupa to see that lane going in, to have that sort of connection, calling for it, going right up with it. That was great team basketball. Harvard as a team is looking really great so far in this quarter, and you've mentioned it. They're outscoring UMass, and it's because they're playing together.
This is a 14-point turnaround. And another turnover. Harmony Turner, Palmieri got a piece of that. Turner got it back, couldn't get the bounce. Nearly another turnover for UMass. McHale in a traffic offensive foul. Katie Krupa drawing the charge.
Ooh, her heels just outside of the circle. But really, that play was out of control. It deserved to be a charge, for sure. McHale was, wildly chasing that ball through no fault of her own. They just are having a hard time with this Harvard pressure.
Should say that was Carly White giving up the body and drawing the charge. Elena Rocco at the free throw line. Hits the jumper.
Okay.
First collegiate bucket for Elena Rocco, the first-year guard from Pittsburgh. Like Collegiate may have drank that pivot foot. Carrie Moore was all over it. But no call. And Rocco with the push on Dallas Pierce. She'll pick up the foul.
I know I mentioned earlier in this game that we were probably going to see a lot of fouls, especially in the first half. But truly, we haven't really, both of these teams playing pretty clean. And the officials are letting a lot go. Only 4 fouls to 5, Harvard to UMass. So not a lot of team fouls overall in this quarter.
In total in the first half between the two teams, 14 fouls. UMass, they were going to try to go 2 for 1 there for a second. It was deflected out of bounds. They were going to keep it here with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
I love the idea, but it was so well covered. The best possible outcome was that it went out of bounds.
Into Sorrentino. Contested shot falls. It's the third bucket for Aaliyah Sorrentino.
I really like I said before, her shot selection. That was a great shot for her.
The shot clock is off, and Harvard will look for the final shot of the half. Turner, the crossover, behind the back. Harmony Turner putting the moves on Palmieri. Obrice with the rebound. Palmieri got it off in time, but airmailed it. We've hit halftime.
I never get to draw on it for my players.
That was really fancy.
We should implement this
Pretty
more
genius.
often when we do some game tape review.
Wish I had one of those tablets and a stencil like that. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
It's Mikhail Kaleja, Olbrys Adenabo, and Palmieri, the 5 on the floor to begin the second half for UMass. Olbrys spins down low and banks it in.
That was
Well,
huge.
for Harvard, you've got Rodriguez, you've got Chatira, Turner, Anderson, and Glenn Bello on the floor. It took until the 4:30 mark of the second quarter for UMass to get points on the board, so that's great that they're able to get an early bucket to begin the second half. Harmony Turner comes right back down and gets the floater to fall.
But I think what's more important in that last UMass offensive possession wasn't just that they scored, of course, that's important, but the way they scored. They ran their set right. They got in for one of their really great players and was able to put in a good play.
Hatila brings it into the front court. Here's Glenn Bello. Harmony Turner, who had 3 steals in the first half, couldn't kiss it home. Olbrys with the rebound. Hill drives, gets fouled. Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Jess Todd. Jess, what do the coaches have to say?
Well, Jim, going into the halftime locker room, UMass was a quiet, unhappy group going in, but coming out, some new energy, and during those warm-ups, they really were emphasizing having it be player-led, wanted to come out with some different life here, and during that last huddle, before the game restarted, Coach Leffler repeating one word, together. So, obviously the goal here for the second half.
Thanks so much, Jess. And something that we heard from this team at A10 Media Day weeks ago, and something that Mike Leffler is trying to implement this program since he took over the reins prior to last year. Yamani McHale, first-year guard from Queens, sinks the free throws. 9-point game. Anderson tees it up and connects from the corner. Into the front court, it's Adenabo who lays it in. Sneaking behind the defense, Chineye Odenabo.
Odenabo has not quite been in the right lane so far this game. She's really running the floor on that last one. But wow, Rodriguez.
That was pretty.
That was pretty.
And now she ties up Stephanie Kaleja. And Harvard's going to get it back.
Where I'm from, they call that one the shampoo, the head and shoulders. Fake them out.
Here's Carly White. Offensive board to Harvard. Rodriguez. Pass was deflected. Coming up short was Anderson on the 3-ball. Rodriguez sticks her hand in the cookie jar. Got fouled from behind. Got hit up near the face. She earned herself a trip to the line.
Wow. Her defense and her leadership are really showing. She just went up. She knew the contact was coming. She played through it. But really just tough, gutsy defense. She's really impressing me. I mean, I watched this team every game last season, but to see her come out the way she's been playing right now has been really impressive. Great transformation.
She's got 13 on 6 of 7 shooting. 7 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals. Oh, and by the way, 2 blocks. Really a complete game. And that's something we've seen from her for the last 2 years. Took that big jump from her first year to her sophomore campaign. Really fills out the box score. Hale driving, dishing into the corner. Gets it back from LeClaire. Off the mark on the 3. Rebounded by Glenn Bello. 2.5 minutes into the third. Glenn Bello stops on a dime. Everything but the buckets. Sanaya Glenn Bello still looking for her first field goal. She's now 0 for 6.
She's right there. She's just having one of those games where nothing's falling.
Does have 4 rebounds and a steal. Harvard front by 13. Foul goes on Harmony Turner. She checks out. Katie Krupa in for Carrie Moore.
They're going to send Rodriguez out of this game.
Rodriguez again got hit in the face a few possessions ago, fouled by Stephanie Kaleja.
Well, they're letting her stay. I'm surprised. She's got a chunk of cotton up her nose to stop whatever's coming out.
Toughing it out, Elena Rodriguez. Breeze lost the handle. Glenn Bello really had that one sail out of bounds. Rodriguez hands it off. Anderson rebounded by Breeze, but to nobody. Tried to find Momo LeClaire. Rupa offline. A lot of contact there. Harvard gets it back. Anderson's shot is no good. UMass scratching and clawing and trying to keep themselves in this game. LeClaire, the fall away, gets it to go. And the lead cut to 11. Anderson spinning, but denied by Odenabo. Today, Odenabo swatting that shot out of bounds. Krupa, the inbounds. Rodriguez fires it down low. Krupa left it short. Harvard is now 3 for 13 here in the third. Breeze created some space, got her own miss and put it home.
Breeze has been getting absolutely crushed in this game, and she earned that one for sure.
Sorrentino picks it off the floor.
Physically, I mean. I don't mean like she's playing poorly. I feel like I need to be specific.
And really taking a beating down low. Breeze with the left hand. The junior from Norwood being this comeback attempt as Harvard gives it back to UMass. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Momentum starting to sway towards the Minutewomen as they have trimmed the deficit to 7 with 4:52 left here in the third.
That they can celebrate winning drills at practice, and guys right now celebrate trying to make a comeback attempt too.
No doubt about it, Jess. Thanks so much. And Megan Breeze a big part of this comeback attempt, but handled this pass from Ali Palmieri. UMass is on a 6-0 run. Harvard has led by as many as 13 in this one, but UMass outscoring Harvard 12-8 here in the third. Defense and turnovers, big storyline so far in this one. A deflection from Palmieri, but there's Abigail Wright to clean it up for the Crimson.
Just a great initial take with her left hand streaking down, and then here comes Abigail Wright. Playing cleanup. Goes up with it strong.
Crashing the offensive glass, picks up her first bucket and completes the three-point play. Abigail Wright, very promising first year. She was a two-time Ivy League Rookie of the Week a season ago and really took her game to a different level in Ivy League play, really stepped up in a big way. And hoping to take another step in her development in year 2 in Cambridge. She's in on the trap on the sideline. UMass keeps it. Goes into McHale. Backpedaling near the timeline. Picked up by Turner. Obrees fires it into the corner. LeClaire had it poked free by Turner. Rodriguez still with that left nostril stuffed up. Again, she took a shot to the face early on in this third. Turner into Krupa. Defended by Sorrentino. Krupa steps through the lane, comes up short. Right on the offensive glass, turns it over. Trying to go back to Krupa. The turnover disparity. Only the 9th committed by the Crimson as LeClaire cans one from the corner. It's an 8-point game. Turner to the floor. Ball is loose. A lot of contact there. UMass comes away with it. And Palmieri hits the jumper.
Watch out. Here come the Minute Women.
UMass has hit 5 of its last 6 shots. Turner and Harvard looking to stop the bleeding, literally in Elena Rodriguez's case. A lot of contact down low, but no whistle. Gabby Anderson is at the scorer's table, set to check in at the next whistle. Brittany Turner slowing things down as she brings it across and turns on the Jets. Rodriguez cross court right, corrals it and turns it over. Turnovers piling up for Harvard in this third quarter. Obrees fired it towards the rim. Wild shot that time.
A ton of physical play underneath the basket.
Carrie Moore calls timeout. We'll take it as well. 1:54 to go in the third. Helter skelter as we wind down this frame. UMass hanging around, trailing by 6. Moments, and let's kick it over to Jess Todd with further explanation on that bizarre technical and why Ali Palmieri was shooting free throws before this game started.
Yeah, Jim, obviously 6-point game right now, and they were helped out by those 2 free throws to start. It's a bit of a weird rule. So 2 years ago, a new one was put in by the NCAA. The LED lights around the shot clock above the nets cannot go off at any time during the game or beforehand unless the shot clock actually expires. So during warm-ups for Harvard, they actually went off. So that led to the technical. Harvard was assessed. UMass gets the 2 points at the game, 2 points at the line to start, I should say, at the beginning of the game. And the ball as well. The Harvard administration is actually sending a message right now to the league, asking for it to be noted to all teams moving forward that it's going to be an emphasis to enforce this year because it never was at any point last year.
Okay, Jess, thanks so much. And that is certainly looming large right now. Off the turnover, Anderson sinks the free throw line jumper. And very quickly, the lead back to double digits for the Crimson.
Well, heck of a timeout for Coach Moore and her team to come out firing the way they have, now forcing an error like that travel here for the Minute Women.
Mike Leffler with some directions for his team, and Harvard coming out strong after the timeout. It gone more than 2 minutes without scoring. Snapping that. Rocco in the corner fumbled it out of bounds. It's turnover number 13 committed by Harvard. 4 is going to get Sanaya Glenn-Bello back into the game for Elena Rocco. It's Mikhail, LeClaire, Olbrees, Kaleja, and Sorrentino, the 5 on the floor for UMass. Deflected out of bounds. Whose ball is it? The officials all looking at each other. Looked like the initial call on the floor was UMass ball. And they're going to keep it that way. Mikhail getting the start as the primary ball handler. Our first collegiate game. Gets it back. Kaleja off the catch. Along with it. Rebound is controlled by Glenn-Bello. Turner gets inside. Turner, difficult finish.
Wow. Really great ball control there.
A foul is going to go on Megan Olbrees after Sanaya Glenn-Bello forced a turnover. Harmony Turner has struggled shooting it. She's only 4 of 15 from the floor. She's got 9 points, has 3 helpers, 3 steals. For the third time in as many quarters, Harvard looks for the final shot. Down low, deflected out of bounds. Gibson will keep it with 4.5 to shoot.
I wouldn't say that Harmony Turner is necessarily having trouble shooting the ball. I just think she's making a lot of tough decisions as far as shot selection. She's forcing some things that maybe later on in the season will be more natural for her, but right now they look a little bit forced, which is causing her to miss, but she's got the right idea in attacking the basket.
Rodriguez trying to create space. Rodriguez comes up shy. And that is how quarter number 3 comes to a close here in Cambridge. We make the turn for home at Lavini's Pavilion. Harvard bumping the lead back to double digits. 49-37 as we make our way.
Princeton, who got that max amount of votes. I just love that part of the Ivy League, that anyone can come out and just have a really great tournament and be the winner.
Olbrees gets all the way to the rim to begin this 4th quarter. And also, it's a Columbia team that has knocked out these Crimson from the postseason in each of the last 2 years. Turner misfires from 3. Again, as we mentioned in the waning moments of the third, it's been a tough shooting night for Harmony Turner. She's 4 of 16 from the floor. She's out there along with Hatira, Glenn-Bello, Rodriguez, and Anderson. The Amani Mikhail drives along the baseline, feeds Sorrentino, who falls down, but she traveled. It's Mikhail, Sorrentino, Olbrees, Palmieri, and LeClaire for Mike Leffler's team. They just committed their 26th turnover of the night. You go back to last year, UMass's season high in turnovers came in their matchup down at Maryland during non-conference play. Rodriguez. Anderson. Shot clock is winding down. Turner, difficult shot. Nearly tracked down her own miss, but her season 9 turnovers last year, it was 28. And that tilts against Maryland. Palmieri sticks a 3 from the left wing. That is only the second 3-point field goal of the night for UMass and their first since the opening minutes of the game. Timeout on the floor with 8.5 to career marks. Here at Harvard, 3rd all-time in steals and in the top 10 in assists, field goals, and points. Someone who can do a little bit of everything, and someone who has gotten better and better with each passing season.
She really has. She's improved every year, and her teammates improve along with her. When you have someone that's able to put up such great numbers and create opportunities for other people, your entire team gets better.
So UMass on a 5-0 run to begin this fourth quarter. This after Harvard ended the third on a 6-0 run. And here's so often, Amanda, that basketball is certainly a game of runs. And we're seeing that here in the last few possessions.
It's absolutely a game of runs, and that's when your coaches have to really make sure they're calling the timeouts at the right places. You don't let yourself get too high or too low, depending on what end of that run you're on, and it's just a game. You got to be able to weather those highs and lows.
UMass and Harvard, both teams have been able to do just that, weather the storms throughout this one. And UMass within striking distance in the fourth. Palmieri left it short. Ball is tipped, but we've got a foul on the floor going on Harvard. Looks like it's going to go on Lydia Hatira. She can't believe it.
But that's that emotion when you're in the middle of one of these runs that you have to be able to stay level-headed, keep that passion, but also not get too high or low. And that's actually something that the third member of our team, Jess Todd, knows a little bit more about. How have these teams been working on the mental aspect of this game?
Performance coach this year, Todd Setnar, said he's been awesome for the players and staff, really shown up for us in a way that's really necessary. To see the way the team can get behind each other right there after something like that. Todd comes in and does a 2-hour session in person with the team each month, along with 2 other half-hour virtual meetings as well. Tells them what they need to hear sometimes, gives them different ways of thinking. It was a big point of emphasis after a year where they struggled with some pressures, some stressors. But when they come up against moments like this and some runs from another team, they're ready for it.
Sorrentino wild with the shot after a big three on the other end from Gabby Anderson for the first points for Carrie Moore's team. Mental toughness certainly on display here on opening night.
It's a long season, so you have to be able to stay mentally tough. That's honestly the hardest part on the body and the mind.
Palmieri was able to keep the dribble as she went tumbling towards the floor, but a shot clock violation, and it's going to be Crimson ball.
Let's take another look at this one because the amount of contact that happened in this one. First of all, Harmony Turner gets sat on, which is wild. And then just the amount of contact on the floor. And for that entire possession to end up as a shot clock violation is not how I saw that one going.
Looked like a push off there on Abigail Wright, and it was. Offensive foul is the call.
Offensive foul on Crimson, Abigail Wright. That's your 15 seconds.
First foul on Wright.
Take another look at this. The issue was dropping the shoulder. She had the position and she had the move. The moment you drop that shoulder, that's an offensive foul.
Let's see how UMass responds here. Up ahead, Sorrentino tries to corral it, but able to get the bucket.
How on earth did she get that shot off? I don't even think she had possession. She just willed it into the hoop.
Sorrentino now with 8. Palmieri leads UMass with 9. And Glenn Bello going for the travel. Turnover number 15 for Harvard. Certainly has not been the cleanest game in terms of the turnover department.
That's to be expected. That's definitely going to be talked about in film tomorrow, is all of the turnovers that happen.
We've got a foul that's going to go on Momo LeClaire. Harmony Turner initially thought it was on her. The official said, wait, hang on a second. It's not on you.
I also thought he was calling it on her, and I was going to say, wait a minute, she didn't touch her. That's the right call.
So LeClaire picks up her third. 4 minutes gone by in the fourth. Turner can't get it to go. But Turner will head to the stripe.
That's what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about her shot percentage right now is she's taking very difficult shots. That was a really tough shot. Those are going to start to fall as the season goes on, and she was able to draw a foul, so still positive on that play. I had to wait to make sure the ball was going to go in before I jinxed it.
She is one of the best free throw shooters in the Ivy League. Finished 4th in free throw percentage a year ago. Lead back up to 10. Palmieri. LeClaire dumps it down low. Sorrentino looking to post up on right. Sorrentino to the corner. Palmieri hits the three. Second three-point field goal for Ali Palmieri. She's got 12, and it's a 7-point game.
Harvard is just not able to put UMass away. They are hanging on to this game for dear life. UMass putting all of their effort into this one for sure.
Have to love the fight from Mike Leffler's team as they come away with a turnover. McHale down low with the left hand off the window.
Palmieri with the court vision there. Great decision.
A 5-0 run for UMass. It's a 5-point game as we surpass the halfway point. Anderson drills the three. That was a big shot and much needed for Harvard to stop the bleeding. And McHale called for the travel.
Gabby Anderson slept on, coming into this game. Here she is with 20 points. Watch out.
Certainly needed it with the struggles from Harmony Turner tonight. Gabby Anderson known for her tenacious defense and grittiness, as Carrie Moore told us the other day, but a big boost on the offensive end from her tonight. Being hounded by Kaleja. Spins in the lane. Rodriguez wide open down low. Out of bounds it goes. Crimson get it back with 4:08 to play.
Huge.
By the way, the 20 points for Gabby Anderson, a new career high. Her previous career high was 13, which she did 2 years ago against Merrimack. Krupa offline, tipped out of bounds. It was thought last touch by Kaleja, but instead UMass will get it back. Does UMass have one last run in them? Adenabo, deflected by Krupa, got it back and put it home. 59-51. 3.5 to go in regulation. Turner looking over at Carrie Moore.
UMass cannot afford for Harvard to be in these set plays. They need to force them to be uncomfortable.
Turner in and out on the three ball. Shot clock was winding down. They killed a lot of clock on that possession. Kaleja with the crossover. Kaleja kicks it to LeClaire. Then UMass like 3 of 7 from downtown in this one. Harvard not much better. They're 7 of 24 from deep. Foul goes on Turner, her third. It's also the third team foul on Harvard. UMass with 2. Olbrees to inbound. LeClaire driving Palmieri sticks the three. And Ali Palmieri is now 3 of 4 from deep.
Don't let the Minute Women get hot. They are not going away.
5-point game, active hands from McHale, trying to pry it free from Rodriguez, who gets all the way to the cup. Palmieri has had the hot hand in the second half. Dishes it. Breeze off the window.
Not only the hot hand, but fantastic court vision by Palmieri. If things are happening, it's because she got it there.
It's her third assist. Starting to hear chants of defense from the UMass fans here at Levites Pavilion. There's Turner, little push shot, doesn't go. Krupa is going to get called for the foul, reaching over the top.
One thing about UMass fans, they're always going to show up to an away game, especially when it's in Massachusetts. A ton of UMass alums in this area, and UMass even have some locals on their roster, so gotta love their crowd, always showing up.
Yeah, the UMass faithful making the long trek out from Amherst, about 2 hours west.
During rush hour, you can get home hour 45.
If you really want to push it.
Depends on how the pike's looking.
These UMass fans that have made the trek out here to Cambridge have seen a good one on opening night. It's a 5-point game as the Minute Women are now in the bonus.
That could be very important.
Kale steps up to the line. It's the first. Yamani McHale now with 9 points in her UMass debut. It's a one-possession game. Megan Olbrys on the sideline. Just Todd telling us getting her ankle worked on, but headed to the scorer's table. Glenn Bello short on the 3-ball. UMass a chance to tie the game. McHale pushing, pulls up. No. Adenabo rips down the rebound. And Rodriguez could not hang on. Nearly came away with the theft.
Great defense. Just got unlucky on that one. A lot of hustle from Odenabo on both sides of the ball.
Olbrys back in. Great sign for UMass. Sorrentino out. Odenabo up top. Anderson went down. LeClaire, McHale with it. 1 to shoot, heaves it up. But an offensive foul is going to be the call. It's going to go on Chineye Odenabo. That's her third. That is huge for Harvard.
Great screen. Tough shot.
The Crimson will take it under a minute to play. One possession game. Rodriguez in the corner. Up top, Turner now. Glenn Bello open, hits the three! Sanaya Glenn Bello from downtown, and UMass needs a timeout.
Glenn Bello having a tough game, struggling to score at all. What a time to step up.
Sanaya Glenn Bello with her first bucket of the night could not have come at a better time.
Shooter's got to shoot. She was ready for it. She wasn't scared. I think that's the most important part. She could have hesitated and done the extra pass because she knew she wasn't having a good night, but instead, muscle memory, went up with confidence, and bang.
The junior guard from Staten Island was 0 for 7. Still have the confidence to heave one up in a huge spot. And Harvard is now 8 of 26 from beyond the arc, and these fans loving what they're seeing. And hoping for a Harvard sweep. Of course, the men's team kicked off their season earlier tonight here at Levites Pavilion. Had a big win over Marist. Now Kerry Moore's team looking to follow suit and pick up a win of their own in their opener here against UMass. The Crimson break the huddle with Turner, Hatita, Anderson, Glenn Bello, and Rodriguez. UMass has Kaleja, Sorrentino, Olbreeze, McHale, and Palmieri. Palmieri has had the hot hand in the second half. They get it to her. Palmieri looking for help and throws it away. Up ahead, Glenn Bello running the floor. Glenn Bello gets fouled by Olbreeze. Officials in there in a hurry. Make sure there are no further extracurriculars.
Extracurriculars, but here's the key. You have to go for the ball when you attempt to foul, and that's what these officials are talking about right now, is whether or not this is going to get upgraded, I should say, to a flagrant, because you have to go for the ball, and she didn't. Not in my initial assessment. We'll see. They might take another look at it.
And again, one of the storylines in this one has been the turnovers. It's the 33rd committed by UMass, leading to this breakaway opportunity.
So there was a personal foul on the floor. Just got a little bit of clarification from the official. They're going to look at it to see if there is anything that would require them to upgrade it from there. But for now, definitely a personal foul. And it would not surprise me at all if they do, in fact, upgrade this foul. It's taken.
Get another look here. Olbreeze reaching around with that left arm from behind. To your point, main key is you're trying to go for the ball, but the question is there enough on this replay for the officials to upgrade the foul?
Well, now that I'm seeing that second angle, maybe not, but it's a tough one because she comes around the back and the ball isn't on that side of her body, and she hooks her on both sides, committing the foul. It was definitely a foul of frustration. And in real time, you could tell that. So whether or not the intention is there, they're bringing in the third official to discuss this with him as well. Want to make sure that they have unanimous decisions on this one. You never want to upgrade a foul, but the point of having these flagrant fouls is to keep the players safe. So they want to look and make sure that they're really keeping the players safe by going for the ball. Obviously, injuries can always happen, but I do believe if I was officiating this game, that I would probably elevate that to a flagrant one.
And this is a huge call with 33 seconds remaining. It's a 2% game. This officiating crew has been outstanding here tonight. It looks like they have reached a verdict of bringing over Kerry Moore, and Mike Leffler has relayed their decision. It's so hard to get these calls right on the floor initially because you don't have the benefit of replay, but in this situation, they do go over, they look at it, and see what the ruling ends up being here. 64-58.
Yep.
So they do indeed upgrade it to a flagrant foul. So Glenn Bello gets free throws, and then UMass, or I should say Harvard, will get it back. Only 3 points for Glenn Bello, adding to that here, but those 3 points came moments ago in her first bucket of the night. 3 biggest points that Harvard has scored to this point. And she calmly hits both of the free throws. Some clutch points in this final minute from Sanaya Glenn-Bello. And now a chance for Harvard to put this game to bed as Hatira gets hit from behind by Palmieri. She'll play the free throw game here with 31.8 to go.
You know, we talked in this game a little earlier about having the mental wherewithal to weather a game with runs. And when you have an intentional, frustrated foul like that just was, now you're making it a little harder for yourself. Even if you just let her go and she scored a layup, or you just made one really good play, that's a big difference. And a lot of that comes down to locking in mentally, and that will come with time. Of course, anyone can have an emotional moment, but sometimes you're going to look back on the tape and realize that was a really significant play.
So Hatira splits the free throws. So this is a 6-0 run for Harvard after UMass cut it to a 3-point deficit.
Important timeout here because they are going to be able to advance the ball. That's a big reason why they're taking the timeout. Of course, at this point, is the game within reach? Yes. But UMass needs to execute coming out of this timeout. Whatever play that they call, it has to happen quickly, and it has to result in points. No turnovers, nothing that takes more than 15. 15's even too many seconds, but nothing that takes more than just a few seconds. You have to come out, make crisp passes, and execute on this sideline out-of-bounds play.
Time is certainly not their friend. They need points, and they need them in a hurry. UMass is outscoring Harvard 21-18 in the fourth. But Harvard's biggest lead tonight is 13 as Mikhail heaves one and is along with it. And that should just about do it with the shot clock turned off. Sorrentino commits the foul. And this has been quite the valiant effort from Mike Leffler's team. Hanging around all night. Looks like they are going to come up short. Harvard well on its way to starting off its season 1-0.
But with this being the first official game, Coach Leffler is still coaching up his team, even though this game is likely out of reach, right? Something incredible would have to happen. But they need to know for themselves they can finish this game and really execute. That's going to be the key for them, is executing these last few seconds.
Palmieri got swallowed up on the shot attempt. Turner takes it away. And Harmony Turner will lay it in. The exclamation point for the Harvard Crimson. Palmieri comes up shy. And Harvard Crimson begin their season with a W on their home floor. This Commonwealth clash against the UMass Minutewomen. It wasn't pretty.
It
But in
doesn't
the
have
end,
to be.
Harvard, they don't care. They're 1-0. Some big buckets down to stretch from Sanaya Glenn-Bello. A huge three. Some big free throws from the junior guard from Staten Island. Gabby Anderson with a career-high 20 to lead all scorers. Elena Rodriguez with 18 on 8 of 10 shooting. She pulled down 8 rebounds. And 3 assists, 4 steals, and a couple of blocks. And a lot of positives for UMass to take away from this one. Ali Palmieri, who sat out all last year, redshirting, led the way with 15 points. They had tremendous fight despite turning the ball over 34 times. And hanging in there with one of the